I am 96 years old and I need to tell you something before I run out of time. Something that took me 70 years to understand and another 26 to fully accept. The entire concept of retirement, the way society sells it to you, is a lie. And I do not mean that philosophically or metaphorically. I mean it is a calculated deception that will rob you of the best years of your life, if you believe it. And the worst part is I fell for it completely. I worked for 45 years waiting for retirement, thinking that was when my real life would begin. And now at 96, with maybe a few years left if I'm lucky, I can see the whole con game clearly. And I need to warn you before you waste your life the same way I did. When I was 25 years old, I got my first real job. Accounting firm, good salary, benefits, pension plan. And everyone told me the same thing. Work hard, save your money, and when you retire at 65, you will finally be free to do everything you have always wanted. Travel the world, pursue hobbies, spend time with family, enjoy life. That was the promise. 40 years of work in exchange for 20 or 30 years of freedom. Sounded like a fair deal. So I believed it. I put my head down, worked 50-hour weeks, skipped vacations, missed my kids growing up, told myself it was all for later, for retirement, when I would finally have time to live. At 65, I retired. I had saved well, had a decent pension. My health was okay. Not great, but okay. And for the first few months, I felt amazing. I could sleep in, no deadlines, no stress. I started making plans, going to travel to Europe, learn to paint, take up golf seriously, reconnect with old friends. This was it. This was what I had worked for. And then reality hit me like a freight train. By 67, my knees were shot. Arthritis, decades of sitting at a desk and not taking care of my body. That hiking trip through Italy I had dreamed about for 40 years, suddenly impossible. Too much walking, too much standing. My body could not handle it, so I adjusted. Maybe less ambitious trips. But then my wife got sick. Cancer. She died at 70. 52 years together, and she did not even get 5 years of retirement. We were going to travel together, see the world. We had waited so long, and then she was gone. At 70, I tried to salvage what was left, traveled alone, but it was not the same, and my energy was fading. I could not stay awake past 8 o'clock. Museums exhausted me. Long flights wrecked my body for weeks. I started to realize something horrible. All those things I had postponed, all those experiences I had saved for retirement, most of them required a younger body, a stronger body, energy, stamina, things I no longer had. I could afford the trip to New Zealand now, but I could not physically do the hikes I had dreamed about for decades. I could afford the sports car, but my reflexes were too slow to drive it safely. I could afford anything I wanted, but my body was too worn out to enjoy most of it. Here is what they do not tell you about retirement. They sell you this fantasy that at 65 you will suddenly have unlimited time and unlimited freedom to do everything you postponed. But they leave out one critical detail. By 65, your body is already breaking down. Your energy is depleted. Your friends are dying or too sick to travel with you. And all those adventures you saved for later, most of them needed to happen 20 or 30 years earlier, when you still had your health, when you still had your strength, when you still had your wife or your best friend by your side. The retirement they promise you is a mirage. You spend 40 years chasing it. And when you finally reach it, you realize it was never real. Not in the way they described it. I know what you are thinking right now, but I need to work. I have bills. I have responsibilities. I need to save for retirement. And yes, you do. I am not telling you to quit your job tomorrow and live like a nomad, but I am telling you this. The way retirement is structured in our society is designed to extract the maximum productivity from you during your best years and then toss you aside when you are too old and tired to enjoy what you have earned. You give them your youth, your energy, your health, and in return, they give you a pension and some free time when you are too broken to use it. Let me tell you what I should have done. What I wish someone had told me when I was 30 or 40 or even 50. I should have worked less. I should have taken that trip to Japan when I was 40 and could actually hike Mount Fuji. I should have spent more time with my kids when they were young instead of working late every night to pad my retirement account. I should have gone to my father's cabin every summer instead of saving those vacation days for retirement. I should have learned to sail when my body could handle it. I should have danced with my wife at every wedding instead of sitting down because I was too tired from work. I should have lived my life while I was living it instead of postponing everything for a retirement that turned out to be a cruel joke. At 75, I tried to go skiing, something I had always wanted to do but never had time for. Broke my hip on the bunny slope. Spent 6 months in recovery. At 78, I tried to learn piano, but my fingers were too stiff. Arthritis again. At 80, I wanted to volunteer and travel to build houses for the poor, but I could not handle the physical labor. At 83, my best friend died. We were going to take a road trip across America. Had been planning it for years. Never happened. At 87, I could not travel anymore at all. Too risky, health too fragile. At 90, I could barely walk. Now at 96, I am in a chair most of the day. All those dreams I had saved for retirement, they are gone. Not because I ran out of money. I have plenty of money. But because I ran out of body. I ran out of energy. I ran out of time with people I loved. I ran out of everything except regret. Here is the retirement lie broken down simply. They tell you to sacrifice your present for your future. Work now, live later. But here is the truth. Your present is the only time you actually have. Your future is not guaranteed. And even if you reach retirement age, you will not be the same person. You will be older, weaker, more limited. The experiences you postpone do not wait for you. They expire. They have expiration dates tied to your physical capabilities. And nobody tells you this. Nobody warns you that the trip you're saving for might be impossible by the time you can afford it, that the hobby you're postponing might require a younger body, that the person you're planning to enjoy retirement with might not live long enough to see it. I had a neighbor, worked as an engineer for 40 years, saved every penny, retired at 66 with a huge nest egg, planned to sail around the world, bought a boat, spent a year preparing, and 3 months into his trip, he had a stroke. Ended up in a nursing home, never sailed again. His boat sat in a marina for 5 years before his kids sold it. He died at 74. All that saving, all that sacrifice. For what? For 8 years, most of which he spent recovering from a stroke or sitting in a nursing home. Is that success? Is that the dream retirement we are all working toward? I see young people today and I see myself 50 years ago. They are working 60-hour weeks, stressed, burned out, postponing trips, postponing hobbies, postponing time with loved ones. And they all say the same thing. When I retire, I will finally do that. When I retire, I will travel. When I retire, I will learn that skill. When I retire, I will spend time with family, and I want to grab them by the shoulders and scream, "No, you will not," because by the time you retire, you will be too old, too tired, too sick, too alone. The retirement you are imagining does not exist, not for most people, not in the way you think. If I had 5 more years of real life, not these limited years I have now, but 5 more years in my 50s or 60s, I would spend them completely differently. I would work less, maybe 30 hours a week instead of 50. I would take a month off every year to travel, not after retirement, during my working years, when I could still hike and swim and explore. I would spend every Sunday with my family, no exceptions, no work emergencies. I would learn guitar at 40 instead of waiting until 75. I would say yes to every invitation to go camping or fishing or just drive somewhere new. I would live my life in the present tense instead of the future tense. I would retire the idea of retirement, because here is what I have learned. Retirement is not a destination. It is not something you reach after 40 years of suffering. Real retirement, real freedom, is living a balanced life all along. It is refusing to sacrifice your entire youth for a promise of leisure in old age. It is understanding that life is not divided into work years and retirement years. Life is now, all of it. And if you are not living now, you are not living at all. You are just postponing death. I am 96. I do not have 5 more years. I probably do not have 2. My body is failing. I sleep most of the day. I cannot walk without help. I cannot travel. I cannot do any of the things I postponed for retirement. And the only thing I have left is this warning, this message. Do not fall for the retirement lie. Do not sacrifice your best years for a fantasy. Do not wait until you are too old to enjoy the life you have saved for. Live now, travel now, love now, play now. Yes, you need to work. Yes, you need to save some money. But do not save your entire life. Do not postpone joy until you are too broken to feel it. If you are 30 right now, you probably have more energy than you will ever have again. Use it. If you are 40, your body still works. Use it. If you are 50, you still have time, but not unlimited time. Use it. If you are 60 and just starting to think about retirement, rethink everything. You have maybe 10 or 15 good years left. Maybe. Do not waste them preparing for years 20 through 30 of retirement. Those years might not come. Or if they do, they will not be what you imagine. They will be limited, painful, lonely, nothing like the brochures. I spent 70 years believing the retirement lie. I spent 70 years thinking I would finally live after I stopped working. And now at 96, with barely any life left, I finally understand. The only time to live is now. The only freedom that matters is the freedom you create today. Not someday, not after retirement. Today, right now, this moment. Because I promise you, this moment will never come again. And when you are 96 looking back, you will not regret the money you did not save. You will regret the life you did not live. You will regret every trip you postponed, every adventure you delayed, every moment you sacrificed for a future that never arrived the way you hoped. Do not make my mistake. Do not believe the lie. Retirement is not the goal. Living is the goal. And living does not start at 65. It starts now. It always starts now. If this message means something to you, share it. Comment below and tell me what you're going to stop postponing. Subscribe, because I do not have much time left and I have more truths to share. The clock is ticking. What are you waiting for?